Charge dash supported by melee physical damage. Will the 49% more melee physical damage be 50% converted to lightning? Yes. Yes, Aeroside. Yeah, so the way that works, right? You have the skill, right? You have a weapon. You have a weapon like this. God, why did I draw like that? Is that what weapons look like? Kind of. You have a weapon that look like this, and then you also have like the skill. You have like the skill gem, right? This is what skill gems look like. So conversion has an order of operations. It's like skill gem comes first, and then the weapon, and then supports. I think that's the order. You want to go look it up? Let's go look it up. As long as we're talking about this, let's go learn and make sure that we're saying things the right way, okay? So this is like the skill gem, and then there's other support gems, right? Skill support gems. We're gonna call these support gem. Fine. Skill gem. Skill. So when you have something that converts 50% physical to lightning, that means like all of the damage that you deal, 50% of that is going to be so converted to lightning, right? You can over convert, but I don't want to confuse you by talking about that. So at the end of the day, 50% of your damage right here, right? Now let's say that you scale. You have a bunch of things on the skill tree that say like, you know, like percent increased LE damage, and then you have like percent more LE damage. You know what I mean? Like let's say you have like a whole bunch of multipliers that go in here. Your damage at the very end might look more like this. You know what I mean? Because you're not scaling the other 50%. Right? But ideally you do want to scale, or you do want to convert this other 50%. Because if you can convert it, then all these same multipliers get applied again, right? So the difference between this much damage and this much damage might be like whether or not you can actually convert the last 50% element. Let's look that up real quick. Conversion PoE. There's an order of operations for conversion. The skill gem always goes first. The reason that it's important that the skill gem always comes first, right? And this is something that that trips up a lot of people, right? So the skill gem conversion that's written on the skill gem itself comes first. Hey Neji, what's going on? This matters a lot if you're planning on playing Scourge Arrow. So right now, the most popular way of playing Scourge Arrow is Poison Scourge Arrow, right? Poison Scourge Arrow, Darkscorn, Pathfinder, right? Scourge Arrow has 50% Fizz Chaos damage, right? That's built into it. So nowadays, what people do is they use a Fizz bow, or they use a bow with a lot of flat Chaos damage on it, and they play Poison, right? In the past, people played flat Ellie, Scourge Arrow, and flat Ellie Scourge Arrow doesn't care about this part right here. So if 50% of your physical damage is converted to Chaos damage, if you have no physical damage, you really don't care. So if all of your damage comes from flat elemental sources, then you get to scale your Scourge Arrow using flat Ellie, right? So that's when you call something like Ellie Scourge Arrow or Ellie Spectral Throw. Oftentimes, what people are talking about is what do you call it? They talk about like flat elemental sources, like from an abyss jewel or from rings or amulets or stuff like that, right? Like adds 5 to 20 fire damage to attacks, things like that. So, on the other hand, some people try to play Conversion Scourge Arrow. This isn't really popular anymore, but it was popular in the past. So, I feel like I should zoom in on this. Maybe I can zoom in real quick. So, Conversion Scourge Arrow, right? This is a really bad idea. You can do it if you have insanely good gear, but it's not a good way of approaching the problem, right? It's kind of like brute forcing a solution. And frankly, it's pretty bad, right? So, Conversion Scourge Arrow, because, if I scroll back here, because Scourge Arrow is the skill gem itself, and skill gems come first in the order of operations for conversion, that means that any time that you're trying to do like 100% fizz converted to cold damage, well, you're never going to be able to do 100% of fizz converted to cold because the skill gem comes first, and the skill gem already nerfs your damage by 50%. Right? So this build, this Conversion Scourge Arrow kind of thing, which I do not recommend, this is not good, even though people have played it in the past, it looks like this. It looks like 50% of your physical damage is already converted because of the skill gem itself, right? To chaos damage. And then this right here is your base damage. And this is like 100% converted to cold damage. You wouldn't need the word 100, you'd only need 50 because the other 50 is already converted. So you would need like 50% cold converted to 50% fizz converted to cold. You could do that with like, I don't know, 40% on the skill tree and then like 10% somewhere else. Who knows? But I guess you could do a pair of gloves, right? So call this your gloves, I suppose. And at this point, you would deal 0% fizz. You would deal 50% chaos. And you would deal 50% full damage. And then presumably in this build, you would take this 50% right here and you would try to scale it as high as possible. So then you would do things like elemental damage with attack skills. You would do things like, I don't know, more LE damage like on your like stuff, or like maybe like fizz gained as extra gold. Like you're gonna scale this up a lot higher, right? Like relatively, as a proportion of your final DPS output, it's gonna be like this, right? It's gonna look like this as a proportion of your final DPS output. But the fact that you're only starting with this much, as opposed to starting with this much, it's kind of like you're working uphill, right? So why would you work uphill like that? So this is kind of an explanation of like, okay, so if we have the order of operations of conversion, I'm pretty sure this is right. We're gonna go look it up real quick. But the skill gem itself, Scourge Arrow, for example, comes first. Scourge Arrow comes first, and then the rest of it. Let's go make sure that we're doing this the right way, okay? We're gonna go learn about this. Mechanics converted to. Everybody knows, I guess maybe not everybody knows, but it's worth noting that conversion only works one way in PoE. You can only go fizz, lightning, cold, fire, chaos, and you can't go backward. You never go backward, and you can never convert damage over time. How about this? How about this right here? Converted to. Let's read this out loud. For this type of modifier, the original damage is replaced with the converted damage. The amount of any given damage type that can be converted this way cannot exceed 100%. If the combined value of all converted to modifiers for a given damage type is greater than 100%, the values are scaled so that the total is 100%. So if you have like, you know what? I'm not going to go into it. Doesn't matter. Conversion from skill gems, like Scourge Arrow, both active and support gems. I was wrong. It goes like this. Look at that. I learned something right here. Conversion from skill gems, both active and support gems, take priority over conversion from other sources, such as equipment, and it's not scaled. The game does not distinguish between damage converted by passes and gear. This may be some kind of importance when dealing with something like Avatar Fire. So, I was incorrect here. Weapon right here, right? Yeah, so skill gem and support comes first, and then like your weapon and your gears come second. It's kind of interesting. Makes sense? Don't play conversion Scourge Arrow. If you're gonna do it, play flat LE Scourge Arrow. Frankly, flat LE Scourge Arrow is not a great way of playing Scourge Arrow. Just Scourge Arrow. As long as we're talking about conversion stuff, are there any other questions? If I'm honest with you, I forget the question that started this out. Oh, the initial question was, charge dash supported by melee physical damage. Will the 49% more melee physical damage be 50% converted to lightning by the charge dash? Yes. And then you want to do something to convert the rest of it. Maybe like a Wrath Watcher's Eye, maybe physical to lightning damage support, maybe some conversion gloves, maybe something on the skill tree. You'd want to get that elemental as much as possible, and you'd hopefully want to get that as much lightning as possible, right? Just so that you're dealing with the same damage type, and then you can like penetrate, use curses, stuff like that.